Alright guys, so Usyk and Dubois meet again, so for the second time on Saturday, July the 19th. So in the first fight, as we know, I have to mention it, there was a controversial low blow. To some people it was legal, some people it was illegal. I've changed my mind again, I've changed my mind loads. I think it's illegal now. I heard someone yesterday, I think it's Derek Chisora talking about it. I've actually changed my mind again, but what people are starting to say also is, it's in the past, let's forget about it. They've got a rematch, it can be settled once and for all. Unless they do a trilogy, which they will, I think, if Dubois wins. Anyway, so what do we know about the two fighters? We know everything we need to know. Whether you're a fan that watches a lot of boxing, whether you're a casual fan, we all know who Oleksandr Usyk is. We all know who Daniel Dubois is. Or you should do. If you follow boxing, you should know who these guys are, because they're probably the two best heavyweights in the world at the moment. Usyk is definitely the best. And I think Dubois, for me, is, you want to put him at number 2. Totally cool with that. He should be number 2. He could be number 1 in a few days. So I'm going to do a main event preview and prediction, and then an undercard preview and prediction. I know I've slated the undercard a bit because it is poor, but there is still some reasonably interesting fights on there. You may as well do the whole event. It's a big event. I'm putting 25 quid down, 25 schmackaroonies down for it. So I may as well do what everyone else will be doing and do a bit more. I think it's the open workout tonight. I think the press conference is Thursday, and then the weigh-ins on Friday, obviously. We're watching all of them. So from tonight, all systems go. Usyk and Dubois. I can't wait. I'm happily gonna pay my money, whether the undercard's good or not. It's a huge fight. It just makes sense for me. 2 secs. Shut that window slightly. It just makes sense to buy the fight. I don't want to. Not saying I do stream fights, but I don't want to risk buffering and all that shit. Or watching it the next day on YouTube, full fight highlights, because they always put the result anyway. It's that big, you need to buy the pay-per-view if you have the money. And I'm not a rich man by any means. If anything, I'm waiting for our deposit to come back from our old house, and that's going to be, part of it will be going to that. A little bit of it. I've already told my missus, I've said when the deposit comes back, we buy a fridge and stuff for the house, but we need to be buying Usyk Dubois too first. We need to get the important council tax. It can fuck off. Get in the fridge. Usyk Dubois 2 has to be the priority. Right, so anyway, I've not been smoking crack or anything. Maybe just a bit too much caffeine. So I'll be doing the odd. Hopefully my slurping's not too bad. I know people like a good slurp. Hopefully it's a slurp-free video. Right, so Usyk versus Dubois. Who do I want to win? So personally, Usyk's my favourite boxer. He's arguably my favourite combat sports athlete, martial artist, whatnot. He's up there with Anderson Silva. I loved Anderson Silva. He was unstoppable at one point. Amazing to watch. Whatever. I want Usyk to win. Again, the country thing, I'm British. I should want the British guy to win. I don't always think you can apply that to sports. I mean, if you have a favourite... There are British people that support American football teams or support some European football teams for whatever reason. It doesn't matter too much. I get it sometimes. Like Tom Aspinall is a heavyweight champion of the UFC, and I do think it's cool that he's British and he's representing British sportsmen and fighters very well. In this situation, I don't care what nationality. Usyk's the man. He's 23-0, 14 of those by knockout, 60% knockout ratio. It's not always about the knockouts when you look at this guy. It's not always about size when you look at this guy. 6'3", 78-inch reach, which I think is actually the same reach as Daniel Dubois, so that's interesting. I thought Dubois may have edged him in there because he's physically bigger, but there's not too much in size really when you look at them. When you look at Usyk compared to Fury and then you look at Usyk compared to Dubois, it's not really he's fighting the much bigger man. He's fighting the bigger man in stature, physicality, but it's not much bigger, I don't think, by any means. So I want Usyk to win. If Usyk wins, I want him to retire. I've won this. I'm one of the best heavyweights ever. I'm not going to say the best heavyweight ever. There are many people in that argument. One of the best heavyweights ever. I think you could put him in that argument. One of the best heavyweights ever. I want to see him retire after this. Go out 24-0. So I'm Team Usyk. Although if he loses to someone, I'd be cool with it being Daniel Dubois. Young, up-and-comer. He's only 26 or something like that. He could have, if he does win this fight, he could have a fairly dominant 3 or 4 years. He could turn around at 30, 31, 32 and say, I'm done, I'm retiring, I've made my money. Well, my facilities have been tapped, I'm going to retire. Don't want Usyk to win. Keys to the fight. So the X factors in this fight, a lot of people are saying Daniel Dubois is going to go to the body and Usyk is a definite weakness there. 100%. Dubois probably will revisit the body. But come on, Usyk's going to have watched loads of video of that fight. He's going to have studied that loads. Will it be as easy for Dubois to hit the body this time as before? I'm not saying it was easy, but you know what I mean. I don't think it will be. Usyk will have studied. He's probably watched that fight. 100,000 times over. He will do things differently in this fight. He'll expect blows to the body. The same way Daniel Dubois, he's not going to come in and just think I'm going to hit him to the body. He'll be expecting me to do that, and I will try that, but I've got to think of other ways to adapt. I'm going to hit him with this. I may try. Fury did have some success with an uppercut, I think, against Usyk. He may look at the Fury fight, I don't know. Or do you know what? He might just think, fuck it. Not many people are expected to win. I'm going to go in there, controlled chaos. I'm going to try and take this guy out of there within 3 or 4 rounds, as quick as possible. See how my cardio holds up. I'm not quite sure he will. I think he will do that to an extent, but I don't think he's going to be reckless abandon. I think he's going to go in personally, try and take Usyk's head off. Everyone's saying the same thing. Dubois needs to be aggressive. He can't fight on the back foot and let Usyk take charge and do what Usyk does, side to side, up and down, all over the place, forcing his opponent to be thinking, what the fuck is he going to do next? He's not a static fighter, he's all over the place, and that's what he's known for. He's a very cerebral fighter. So they're not going to... I'd be very surprised if either fighter takes the same approach as they did in the last fight. Even though Usyk won, it's more likely he'll take the same approach, because other than that, if you take the low blow out of it, I mentioned it again, I should have to put like a pound in a jar, like a swear jar. There should be a low blow jar. Yeah, I mentioned low blow again. I put a point in there. But I'd be out of money very quickly because it's hard not to mention it. If you take that out of it, Usyk was winning. It wasn't dominant, but he was winning. Usyk was having moments, but Dubois was having moments, but Usyk was winning, I think. And he stopped him in the 9th round. Let's not forget that. Usyk did stop him. Dubois has been stopped before. Dubois has been flawed before. But Dubois got much better. He's a much younger man. He's physical specimen. So Don Charles has said recently, he's not just doing weights. He's a big guy anyway. We don't need him to be really muscle bound. We don't need him to keep getting bigger like the Incredible Hulk. So we've been doing functional weights, resistance training and ways to strength and conditioning, whatever, that will assist him when he's fighting as a boxer. Not necessarily getting him to deadlift 200 kilograms, because he's already a big guy. Does he need to be bigger? No, he's huge. His physique has changed by the look of it. Maybe slightly leaner. He looks more functional to me. So you've got to see it as a fresh slate anyway. They're both going to do many different things. So the low blow, we've gone over that. Fuck, I mentioned it again. Usyk was winning the fight. Usyk stopped him. It was in, another thing to mention, this was in Poland, so it wasn't in Ukraine for these reasons, unfortunately. He was in Poland, so it felt more like a home crowd advantage for Usyk. Many Ukrainian people there. There'll be many Ukrainian people here on Saturday, but obviously it's in England. It's at Wembley Stadium, which is iconic stadium when it comes to the UK and fights and football matches or whatever. So Dubois does have home advantage. I'm not sure if it'll matter to Dubois too much where he's fighting. He just seems very, like in the Joshua fight, he just seemed very zoned in. And in the Joshua fight, again, Joshua is favourite. He just meant business when he walked into the ring. There are moving parts, but I'm trying not to make it too complicated. Ultimately, who do I think will win? So that's a little preview. I guess I've spoken about some of the X factors. They both got good cardio. I mean, Usyk's cardio is pretty ridiculous, though, isn't it? So my prediction, and it's been. I thought this for weeks. Most of the time, since the fight's been announced, initially I was thinking maybe it's Dubois' time, but I'm going to stick with Usyk. Reasons being, people keep going about father time. You can't out-train father time, or whatever the cliche is. Yeah, do you know what? You can't, but and he's 38, but look at the condition that he's in compared to a lot of 38-year-old people. If I did like 5 minutes of his training routine, I'd probably fucking stretch it out with his gym in Spain or wherever he trains. He's built from different stuff. He's just a tough guy. He's very jovial. He's funny. He's very charismatic. My missus thinks I fancy him. I just really respect him as a man, as a sportsman, as a champion. He's a full package. Even yesterday, Daniel Dubois was shouting in your face, how do you feel about that? He wasn't that bothered. He's just sort of like, yeah, that's fine, it's good. Good for it. He doesn't seem fazed by anything. I don't think he can face the guy. And I think he'll come to the UK like he's been to the UK before, and I don't think the crowd thing will bother him too much. If anything, you could say it might be an advantage because he doesn't have the pressure of a home crowd and representing his nation or whatnot. So one reason I'm going for Usyk is, despite people saying he's too old, I still think he's in ridiculous shape. Arguably looked better in the second Fury fight than the first one. Ridiculous shape. He's not shown many signs of lagging or anything. He's not shown much of a decline. He's a very intelligent guy. The other thing I'm thinking is Dubois has been stopped before. And Dubois does take shots. Usyk takes shots, but not too many shots. He doesn't give people that chance often. Dubois does take shots, and although Usyk doesn't punch really hard, which is what I said yesterday on a cool podcast I was listening to, Talk Boxing, I think it was, with Jordan and Spencer Oliver. It's just the accumulative punches, more like stinging than thudding punches. And that's why I think Usyk will win. So I think this fight will be much closer, and I think Usyk will really have to dig deep. And I think he will meet the canvas. I think he will go down. I think he'll go down. He'll go down, I think. I'm not sure with a body shot or a head shot, but I think he'll hit camp. I've got a feeling. And one thing I will say, at work, I work in a large building, there's about 1,200 people. I've asked like 12 or 13 people that I know have some kind of interest in boxing. Usyk or Dubois. Everyone said Usyk. But they've all said the same thing. But if Dubois catches him, and I had to say to him, make a decision, Usyk or Dubois, I'm going with Usyk. But I know exactly what they're thinking. I'm thinking the same. I'm fully preparing myself for a scenario where Dubois like, fuck it, death or glory. He goes in there, he goes straight for Usyk. He sets some stuff up. He feels him out. It sounds so wrong, that phrase. Touches him up for a bit, and then he's just like, fuck it, or I'm going for it. And then the big shots start coming in, and Usyk will get hit. It's a boxing fight. I'm going to Usyk, but I'm like 55-45 Usyk. I was 60-40 Usyk a few days ago. Usyk's manager leaving, all that stuff, Alex Krasiuk, that doesn't matter really. Like, boxers change managers, they change trainers more often sometimes than they change the trainers on the feet. Tony Bellew said. I don't think that'll be a factor. I think Usyk's going to win. I think he's going to stay away from Dubois' big shots, get his punches off. His volume of punches will be bigger than Dubois. I think he'll do a bit of damage, and then I think when the last 3 rounds come, he might go in for the kill. I don't think he will stop Dubois this time, but I think he'll be back and forth. And I just think, as far as cardio goes and gas tank, Dubois may start waning in the last 3 rounds. I think that's when Usyk will take over. So that's my prediction. Usyk by decision on points. He will go down. Dubois will hit him with something. And I think it will be an exciting fight. It's definitely not going to be a ball fest or anything. So as much as I moaned about the undercard a bit, it will be a very exciting fight. It could be exciting to the extent that they may do the trilogy if it's a very close fight. I don't think it'll be conclusive for either guy. I don't think Usyk's going to march in there, dance around him, touch him up a bit, and then walk out. Thank you very much. Points decision. It's going to be very tough for both of them. I just think maybe the later parts of the fight, I think the cardio may come into it. And I know Dubois can still deliver power later on, but he's been delivering power against Jarrell Miller, Big Baby, whatever the fuck he's called, Hergovich, Joshua. People are complete athletes, but their movement compared to Usyk's, he's going to have to exert more energy, I think, a lot more energy, chasing Usyk around, mental energy as well. What's he going to do next? The tricks and the traps that Usyk will lay for him. I'm sure Dubois was a trick or two on his own as well. He's got a great trainer in Don Charles. I just think he'll come down with energy in the last 3 rounds. That's where Usyk, it may be close. Usyk might say, right, time to step on the gas a bit. Let's take this fight. Ease him up a bit. Maybe have the opportunity to knock him out, but he might preserve his energy and just sort of make it conclusive for the judges. It may be close last 3 rounds. I think the judges will like Teddy Usyk. I know I've gone on a bit, nearly 20 minutes. I wanted to do a preview now. It's Wednesday, get a preview out. Then I'll do an undercard preview as well, possibly today as well. But yeah, I'm Team Usyk, I'm not going to lie. But if he loses to someone, I'll be happy if it's Daniel Dubois. If Daniel Dubois wins, we could possibly expect a reign of dominance for a good sort of like 3 or 4 years, maybe. Who knows? It sounds like Don Charles may, or his dad even, they may say, look, when you get to 30, 31, you've done well, you've made a lot of money, time to retire. So if Dubois wins on Saturday, surely Joseph Parker's going to fight. If they don't do the trilogy, which they will, let's pretend they're not going to do a trilogy, although they will, Joseph Parker deserves to fight one of these 2 gentlemen. So I think if they don't do the trilogy, which they will, again, yeah. I think Joseph Parker needs to be in the conversation. I think he deserves a shot at one of these guys. I'd love to see it. So if Dubois wins, it'll probably be the trilogy if Usyk doesn't retire. What I want to happen, even if Usyk win or lose for Usyk, I want to see him retire. Even if he goes out on the loss, it's Usyk, so he'll go out on his shield. He'll go out looking impressive, but he's Dubois, much younger. He's a physical specimen. His training seems more specific to boxing now. He's not just putting weights on. It's great having power, but you've got to get into the positions to deliver that power. And it's good to be quick as well. Training wise, he's even had people in to help him become quicker. Not necessarily Don Charles. I think it's a guy called Kieran Fowler maybe. So they're working on his speed as well. They'll be working on everything. They're not going. Neither man is going to go in with exactly the same game plan as the last fight. Usyk's going to watch tape on that low blow. I mentioned it again. Dubois going to have a different approach as well. He's going to come in more aggressive, I think. He can't not listen to all the professionals that are saying you've got to go in and be aggressive. Don't give Usyk the chance to get his stuff off. So yeah, Usyk by points. Very close fight. Very exciting fight. Will probably lead to a trilogy. Ideal scenario for me, and I'll probably get a bit emotional if he does. Many of us will. We look, we love this guy. He's coming to Britain and beaten. We don't love him because of that, but he's beaten British fighters, but very respectful. He carries himself very well. I love a bit of beef between fighters. It's like a soap opera sometimes, isn't it? But there are guys that will do that. When you see Usyk, you just respect the fact he's a gentleman, he's respectful, and he's fucking good at his craft. Above all else, whatever sport you watch, no matter what they say, do outside the ring, as long as it's not sexually assaulting people like some of them, unfortunately. What matters is on the football pitch, in the boxing ring, on the ice hockey ring, in the darts fucking community centre where they play. I'm joking. I know they're playing the arenas now, or whatever. Ali Pali, that's a popular one, isn't it? The thing that matters to him is how he performs. He's the best current boxer on the planet, I think. Although, again, it shows how modest he is and his humility, because he was asked recently by Cal Froch, are you the best boxer on the planet? And he said, no, Terence Crawford is. He said, I'm not the best boxer on the planet. He's a cool guy. I want to see him retire either way. I don't want to see him take any damage. If he lost, he still would have an amazing legacy, and he'll have lost to a guy that's probably going to go on and be dominant in the heavyweight division. If he wins, absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous what you've achieved right off into the sunset. Promote, support your up-and-coming fighters like Daniel Lapin. Sergei Lapin, he's a bit older. I don't know where he's at career-wise, but bring up some younger fighters, not necessarily Ukrainian fighters, but stay in boxing, get involved. When his level of English becomes better, be a pundit. Imagine how cool it would be having him on big, huge pay-per-view events as a pundit, contributing in some way. Being at ringside, just stay in that realm, stay around boxing. But if you win or lose, maybe retire. I think now's the time. Hopefully he wins. Hopefully he retires on a win. I think he will. Let us know. Comment, like, subscribe. I'm going to do some life admin shit now. Chase up this deposit that our fucking landlady should have paid us over a week ago now. No disputes or anything. She's just been awkward. But hopefully we get it sorted today. And I'll say, I need my deposit back because I need to watch this shit. I need to pay 25 quid. Usyk Dubois too. Looking forward to it. It'd be cool. Anyway, enjoy your day. Thanks for watching as always. Nick with CPF Boxing. Peace out.